For as long as anyone in the galaxy could remember, Earth had been loud. It was not the noise of war or destruction, but the endless chatter of a young, curious species. Humans loved to talk, to sing, to argue, and to share everything they discovered. From the moment they had invented radio, their voices had been spilling out into space. Other civilizations noticed them early. At first, they thought humans were reckless. Why would a young species announce itself to the stars? Asked the cautious Zeroth scholars. But over the centuries, everyone grew used to the strange and lively noise coming from the little blue planet. Earth's broadcast became a kind of background music for the galaxy. There were stories, debates, music, even comedy shows. The Ver Collective loved human songs. The Kara scientists were fascinated by human problem-solving discussions. Even the mighty girl Imperium, who disliked humans, secretly listened to their dramas. But then, on one quiet day, the noise stopped out at first. No one noticed. The galaxy was vast, and humans were just one of many species sending signals into the void. But in a deep space observatory orbiting the star Aldra, a group of Ver technicians were the first to realize something was wrong. The human music station. They listened to every cycle had gone silent. They checked their equipment, thinking it was a malfunction. The readings were normal. Strange, muttered one of the technicians. No new signals from Sol for 3 hours. 3 hours became 6, then 12. By the end of the first day, the entire solar system was quiet. Not a single radio transmission. Not a single digital beacon. It was as if humanity had vanished overnight. The Ver Collective quickly sent messages to other observatories. Soon, confirmation came from across the galaxy. Earth had gone silent. At first, many species thought this was simply a technical issue. The Karo analysts predicted a solar flare might have damaged Earth's satellites. The Tevari traders guessed that humanity was reorganizing its networks. Even the Council of Nine, the largest political alliance in the galaxy, dismissed it as a temporary blackout. But on the second day, fear began to grow. Humans are not a quiet species, said Ambassador Relin of the Ver. They talk, they argue, they share. For them to be silent, this is not normal. Throughout the galaxy, people whispered. The smallest species, those who admired humans for their creativity, felt uneasy. The larger empires, especially the Girl Imperium, felt something different. Hope, the Girl Imperium had always seen humans as dangerous upstarts. Humanity's ability to adapt, learn, and grow had always worried them for decades. They had tried to slow human progress through politics and manipulation. Now, with Earth silent, the Girl leaders secretly celebrated. Perhaps the problem has solved itself, said Grand Commander Drac with a cruel smile. But others were not so sure. On the third day, deep space probes tried to make contact with Earth. They sent greetings, warnings, even jokes, things humans had always responded to. None were answered. Not one signal came back. Then, something strange happened. A trade vessel passing near the edge of the solar system reported that it had picked up automated transmissions, normal routine signals from human satellites, but there were no live communications. It was as if the machines were running, but the people were gone. By the end of the first week, panic began to spread. News networks across the galaxy reported the event as the Great Silence. Speculation ran wild. Some believed humans had been wiped out. Others thought they had finally destroyed themselves. A few, remembering human history, felt something colder in their hearts. They would never just disappear, said Rollin again. Now speaking to the entire Ver Council, if humans are quiet, it is because they choose to be quiet. And if they have chosen silence, it means something is coming. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy felt uneasy without human voices. In the background, because everyone remembered one thing about humanity, they never went quietly. The silence from Earth was like a shadow spreading across the galaxy. It was no longer just a quiet moment. It was a mystery that made everyone uneasy. Species from different corners of space watched the solar system with growing concern. The Ver Collective, known for their curiosity and respect for human creativity, were the first to act. They sent a fleet of small, silent drones to Earth. These drones were not weapons but watchers. They were programmed to learn and report back. The Ver hoped to find answers, or at least understand what had happened to humanity meanwhile. In the halls of the Gruul Imperium, leaders gathered behind closed doors. Unlike the Ver, the Gruul saw humans as rivals. Their long-standing distrust made them cautious, but also hopeful. The silence could mean an end to the competition they never wanted. Perhaps they have fallen, Grand Commander Drax said to his council. If so, our path is clearer than ever. But not everyone in the Imperium shared his confidence. Some advisors warned of underestimating humans. After all, humans had survived wars, plagues, and countless disasters. If they had vanished, it might be for a reason far beyond what others understood. Across the galaxy, smaller civilizations watched in fear and hope. The Tevari traders whispered about the possible effects on trade routes. The peaceful Larisans worried about the balance of power. Even the fierce warriors of the Kakar shifted uneasily, sensing a change in the air. On Earth itself, the silent cities stood like monuments to a vanished people. The drones sent by the Ver moved quietly over empty streets and abandoned buildings. Lights still flickered on homes, machines hummed in factories, but no humans stirred. The atmosphere was calm, almost too calm. The Ver scientists scanned for signs of disaster, radiation, weapons damage, disease. But everything was normal. There was no destruction, no sign of a struggle, no evidence of why the humans had disappeared. Even stranger, the drones detected structures being built far from Earth. In the outer reaches of the solar system, massive space stations, clearly designed by humans, were half-finished and abandoned. The technology was advanced, beyond anything the galaxy had seen before. This is unlike any disappearance we have ever encountered, said Ver Commander Telia. They have left behind their homes but taken their secrets with them. Back on Aldra, the Ver Council debated what to do next. Some argued for sending ambassadors to other human colonies if they existed. Others wanted to prepare for the worst. A war or a new threat hidden behind the silence. Humans have always been unpredictable, said Elder Saren. We must be ready for any outcome. While the Ver worked to understand the mystery, the Gruul Imperium quietly increased their patrols around the solar system. Their fleets moved like shadows in the dark, watching for any sign of a threat. But not all watched with fear or suspicion. Some species hoped this silence might bring peace. The endless human chatter had often disturbed fragile negotiations and delicate alliances. Without Earth's constant presence, perhaps the galaxy could breathe easier. Yet, even those who wished for peace felt a deep uncertainty. Humanity's history was full of surprises. Their silence might be a pause before a new beginning, or before a storm. Then, after 2 weeks of silence, something unexpected happened. A small, unmarked ship entered the solar system. It did not belong to any known species. It moved slowly, carefully, as if searching. The Ver drones approached it, trying to communicate. At first, there was no response. Then, a faint signal was detected. It was a human voice, but different, quieter, coded, and full of meaning. Only humans could understand. The message was short. We will return when it is time. No one knew what it meant. No one could guess what time referred to. Across the galaxy, this message spread quickly. It was a spark that ignited old fears and new hopes. The galaxy was no longer just watching. It was waiting. Because when humans said something like that, it was never empty words. There were species that always prepared, always planned, and always surprised. And now, the silence had become a promise. A promise that one day, Earth would speak again. And when it did, no one would be ready. The silence from Earth grew heavier with each passing day. The galaxy's eyes were fixed on the solar system, searching for answers. The Ver drones, still circling above Earth, had discovered something no one expected. No people, but plenty of signs life had been there recently. Machines hummed softly, lights blinked in control rooms, and energy flowed through cities, yet the streets were empty. It was as if the humans had vanished in the blink of an eye. Commander Telia of the Ver Collective stared at the data streaming into her console. No signs of battle or destruction, she said quietly. Nothing to explain this disappearance. The drones moved carefully over great cities, vast forests, and wide oceans. Everywhere was still, peaceful, but strangely lifeless. Pets and animals roamed freely, unafraid. As if they missed their human companions, Ver scientists grew more puzzled by the hour dot then. The drones sent back an even stranger message. They had found enormous space stations under construction near the outer edge of the solar system. These were massive structures unlike anything the galaxy had seen before, vast platforms with complex designs, partly finished and abandoned. The technology was human, but far more advanced than what Earth had shown in recent years. This isn't just a disappearance, Telia told her team. It looks like humans prepared to leave, or maybe to hide. The news sent shockwaves through the Ver Council. What could humanity be building in the far reaches of their own system? Was this a fortress, a place to escape, or something more mysterious? Meanwhile, the Girl Imperium responded with alarm. They ordered their warships to move closer to the stations, scanning them for weapons or hidden dangers. Commander Drac was furious. If humans have prepared a secret base, we must find it before they can use it against us. But the Gruul fleets found nothing hostile, only machines and unfinished carters. No crew, no signs of life. The silence remained. Other species were equally confused. Some sent exploratory teams to nearby human colonies, hoping to find survivors or clues. Others debated whether the humans had finally ascended to a new level of existence, leaving the physical world behind. The Ver's leading scientist, Elder Saren, shared a warning. Humans are clever. They may have moved beyond our understanding. Their silence could be the calm before a great change. In the background, secret investigations uncovered something even stranger. The space stations appeared to be designed for long-term survival and exploration. They had advanced energy systems, living quarters, and massive communication arrays. It was clear the humans were preparing for a journey far beyond the solar system. One of the Ver drones sent back a transmission showing a holographic map. It revealed a trajectory pointing toward a distant part of the galaxy, far from known human space. This could be their destination, Telia said. A new home, or a secret refuge. The message sent waves of fear and hope through the galaxy. If humans were moving outward, what power did they now hold? Could they return stronger than ever? Or was this a retreat, a way to save themselves from a disaster no one yet understood? Amid the growing tension, another human transmission arrived, this time from the edge of the galaxy. It was brief, encrypted with a code only humans used. The message repeated, "We will return when it is time." Nobody could say when that time was, or what it meant. The galaxy waited in silence, not knowing whether to prepare for war or hope for peace. Meanwhile, deep in the outer stations, mysterious devices began activating on their own. Machines hummed to life, and strange lights flickered through the empty halls. It was as if the stations themselves were waking up, waiting for something or someone. Commander Telia watched in silence. "Whatever humans plan," she whispered, "it is still in motion, and far from the eyes of the galaxy beyond. The known stars, the humans watched and waited, because some mysteries were never meant to be solved quickly, and some silences were the loudest signal of all. The galaxy was no longer calm. The silence from Earth and the strange signs around the solar system had changed everything. Leaders and citizens across the stars watched the news with worry. The mystery of humanity's disappearance was now a source of fear. The Ver Collective, who had always respected human creativity, grew cautious. Commander Telia reported to the council, "Humans have vanished, but their machines continue to work. Their stations awakened slowly. This means they plan carefully. This is not an accident." Many agreed. Humanity was not known for rash actions. If they had disappeared, it was for a reason the galaxy did not yet understand. The Gruul Imperium prepared for the worst. Grand Commander Drac ordered warships to strengthen patrols near the solar system. If humans return, he warned his officers, they will be stronger, and more dangerous than before. We must be ready across the galaxy. Species build alliances and arm fleets. Old enemies spoke in cautious tones. Even the peaceful Larisans joined in discussions about defense. The galaxy's balance was fragile, and the unknown nature of humanity's silence upset that balance. The Tevari traders worried about their routes. Without Earth's markets and communications, trade slowed. The galaxy's economy felt the shock. On the 5th week since the silence began, a new message reached the galaxy. This time, it was not from Earth or near the solar system, but from beyond the galactic rim, a place few ships had traveled. The message was human, encrypted in a way only humans understood. It was short but clear. We will return when it is time. The words echoed in the halls of governments and in the minds of every being who heard them. No one knew what time meant, but all knew it was a promise, a warning. Scientists, linguists, and diplomats tried to decode the message's deeper meaning, but it resisted understanding. It was simple yet held power. It was a human way of saying, "We are gone, but not gone forever." Fear spread. What was humanity preparing for? A great war? A new empire? Or had they found something beyond life, beyond the stars? The Ver sent more drones to the space stations. The machines in the stations were activating faster now. Lights pulsed through corridors, and systems hummed with growing energy. It was as if the stations were alive, waiting. In secret, some species began to prepare for conflict. Fleets moved into strategic positions, weapons were readied, and old rivalries paused as everyone focused on one unknown, the humans, despite the fear. Some voices called for patience. Elder Saren of the Ver spoke at the Galactic Assembly. We do not know the humans' purpose. They may return as friends or as threats. We must be cautious, but also open to hope. But hope was a fragile thing. In the outer reaches of the solar system, a shadow moved among the half-finished stations. It was a small craft, sleek and silent. Inside, a lone figure watched the stars, a human. They were the last watcher of their kind, left behind to guard the secret of humanity's fate. Their eyes were steady, their heart calm. They knew the galaxy waited. They knew the future was uncertain. But one thing was clear. Humanity had not been defeated. They had chosen to leave, to prepare, and when the time came, they would return. Until then, the galaxy waited in fear and hope, for the silence was not the end. It was the beginning of something new. The silence from Earth had stretched into weeks, then months. The galaxy held its breath. Every star system, every empire, and every humble colony knew one thing for sure. Humanity was gone for now. But no one forgot the message from beyond. The rim, the words repeated in every mind, "We will return when it is time." No one knew when that time would come. Some hoped it was far away. Others feared it could be soon. In the meantime, the galaxy was changing. Alliances formed like never before. Old enemies talked, seeking peace or strength in numbers. Fleets patrolled borders, watching the darkness for any sign of humans returning. The Ver Collective took the lead in trying to understand. Commander Telia and her team continued to watch the abandoned space stations, which now seemed alive with energy. They scanned the distant signals, always waiting for a sign, a clue. Still, no clear answer came. The great mystery of humanity's disappearance remained unsolved. Then, strange reports began to surface. Distant systems near the galaxy's edge detected short, faint bursts of human signals. Not full messages, only brief, sharp pings, like a heartbeat echoing through space. The signals were too weak to understand, but they carried the unmistakable signature of human technology. The galaxy grew more alert. Could it be that humans were sending out warnings, or calling for help, or simply marking their presence in the great halls of the Galactic Assembly? Representatives debated what to do. Some urged caution. We should prepare for their return, but also seek peace, said Elder Saren of the Ver. Humans are capable of great kindness and great destruction. Others called for stronger action. We cannot wait passively, said Grand Commander Drac of the Gruul Imperium. We must be ready to defend ourselves. Humanity's power could be beyond anything we have faced. As the debate raged, The lone human watcher in the outer stations observed quietly. They knew the galaxy's fears and hopes. They knew the stories told about humans, their bravery, their flaws, their endless curiosity. But the watcher understood something few others did. Humans had changed. They had learned much. During their silence, they had grown stronger, wiser, and more united. The space stations were more than just shelters. They were the first steps toward a new chapter. A chapter where humans would reach farther than ever before. And when they returned, it would not be as the noisy, young species they once were. They would come as something new. But for now, they waited. The galaxy waited. Time passed slowly, but the silence never truly returned. The faint pulses of human signals continued, like a quiet promise in the dark, across the stars. Species lived their lives, always watching the skies. They told stories of the humans who once filled the galaxy with their voices and dreams, and when the day came, whenever that day might be, no one would be able to ignore the sound of Earth's return. Because humanity's silence was not the end. It was the signal of a beginning. The galaxy waited, and when the humans came back, everything would change forever.